Hello, I'm Nick Lyons from Eric Lyons in Knowle, Solihull. As we're all pretty bored and locked down, and even I am, I thought we would start up an Eric Lyons cookery channel. So here we are. Okay, so on tonight's menu we have chicken fajitas with a homemade guacamole and a homemade salsa. Now for the preparation, we're going to be using these ingredients for the heart of the dish, so the chickens, onions, peppers and a sauce. We're going to be using the avocados for a guacamole and obviously the tomatoes for a nice salsa. Thanks for watching the video this far. I'd just like to ask if you could like and subscribe to Eric Lyons' new YouTube channel. That would be great. Just let us know what you want in the next video. Okay, for step one, we're going to be cutting the chicken into strips. Fairly basic, kind of do the bottom to start with, get some nice strips. Once you get to the thicker end of the chicken, I'd probably cut along the centre and then go into some more nice strips as so. Okay, so next is the sauce or the marinade. We're going to be using fajita mix, sweet and sour sauce, barbecue sauce, Nutella ketchup. So we're going to whack it all in the bowl, and I'm kind of doing it all roughly to how much we've got. So let's try and remember. So we've got 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and we'll go with 1 more. So it's 3 tablespoons of the sweet and sour sauce. Probably going to go with, this will be a bit harder to get out. Here we go. We're going to go with roughly 1, probably 2 of the Stokes barbecue, 2 of the Stokes ketchup as well. And give that a little mix up. See where we get with that. Okay, so now the sauce is roughly made, we're going to be adding the chicken to that. You can use a spoon, but it's probably the hands in sort of job. A nice little mix. Makes a lovely noise. And leaving that aside for about, well, 5-10 minutes while we prep the rest of the veg. Okay, so now the dirty work is done. We need to clean up all the raw chicken, obviously on your hands and the chopping board. I'm going to be using the chopper in a minute, so let's quickly do that. And just like that, we're cleaned up. So now we're ready to roll on to the next phase, which is cutting the veg. We're going to cut it into the same sort of strips as the chicken. So fairly basic for the peppers, cut it in half. Take anything that is not edible really, and especially white meat of the pepper. Just take that out, cut it in half, and then again it's just strips the same as the chicken really. Keep your fingers clear and take your time. Right, so as we're cutting the veg, I just thought I'd like to take a moment to say how important it is to get your produce as locally as possible. So greengrocers down the road, butchers down the road. They really do supply a much better quality than supermarkets. As we are the butchers, Eric Lyons, we have started selling veg as well. I can really tell you that it is on another level to a supermarket, and I probably will do a few videos to discuss why. Right, peppers are done. Slide them in with your chicken. Looks like we might need a slightly bigger bowl, but I think we'll just get away with it. Right, now for the onions. Okay, so for onions, they always are rather fiddly. Top and tail, not too much off the base. Slice it in half. We're going to just take the outer layer off. And then I'm going to cut, so you've got the root and the top end. We need to cut from the top end. And we're just going to do another simple slice. Keep your fingers well away. Now we slide them in to the rest of the chicken and peppers. Right, so now it's time to get hands dirty again, and we're going to mix all of the veg with the chicken and the marinade. The bowl is probably a bit too small, but oh well. Okay, so that didn't really work out. We've managed to evenly coat everything and the table. Right, so now the core is done. We can move that over to our cooking station, and we're going to be going on to salsa. Okay, so tomatoes we're going to chop very, very thin, because obviously we're going to be putting these into a dice. You want an even finer dice with the red onion. I have cut the end off the onion anyway, but you don't want to take too much off the core because that's going to hold it together. So we're going to chop the onion down the centre, peel the first layer, and so this is where it gets tricky. Slice, but not all the way to the end of the core because this is going to hold it together. The more slices you get in, the better. And then we're going to slice as many as you can get across, obviously while holding it all together. Maybe get one more in there. The core's holding it all together now, and we've got it all ready to go. Really, really fine. Fine dice. Whack that in. We're going to be squeezing some lime in, so that can be ready. And we're just going to really, really finely dice coriander. We're going to leave all the stalks and everything in because I think that's where some of the best flavour is. Just keep smashing it up as small as you can get it. The smell is phenomenal. Slide that in, and then a nice squeeze of lime. Okay, so salsa's done. Avocado time. We've already prepped one. Got a top tip. Instead of cutting across or lengthways, we're going to cut down the width of it. Roll it down, you'll feel the stone. That'll come apart. You'll just be able to take that stone out and just squeeze the avocado in. Right, another top tip about garlic this time. Take off the ends and obviously just peel them. And then in the inside, once you cut it down lengthways, if I've done it correctly, there should be a stem running down the middle. You want to take that out because that apparently is what gives you the bad breath. Really, really, really finely dice it up. Another top tip, once we're into a nice fine dice, instead of seasoning the guacamole itself, you want to put some salt in with the garlic. And once you get it into a nice stage like this, you can use the side of the knife to create a paste. See, the salt just dissolves it. So we're just going to add to the guacamole. You can add chilies, red onion. We already have the red onion in the salsa, and I don't like chili. Right, the good news is the hard work is done. We are prepped. We've just got to cook. So while we're cooking, it'd be rude not to have a beer. Because, I suppose. Cheers. Right, so the pan is very, very hot. We're not going to add any oil. It's a wet mix, so we don't really need to. Let's just slide that in. I'm only gonna slide in maybe a quarter of it, just so we can really get that the heat around it. Right, so that will do its thing for 5-6 minutes. Keep moving it every 30 seconds and have a few more sips of your beer. Right, so while that's quickly cooking, we are just going to heat these very lightly in the oven, just on nice and low, 2-3 minutes, just to get them nice and soft. Okay, so we're only about a minute off now. It's getting very fragrant. If only we had smell.
If only we had what?
The smell of it. I've been told to say that if only you at home could have smell-o-vision. Right, so all the hard work is done. Cooking's done. It's time to eat. So the wrap is warm. We're going to slowly slide the chicken. Don't want a huge amount because we do have to wrap this up. I'm going to add a bit of guacamole on the top. Finish it with a bit of salsa. I'd also like to recommend Snowdonia Cheese Company, as I'll be grating a bit of their beechwood smoked cheddar on top of my wrap, just to finish it off. few different ways to wrap it. I just wrap the bottom and then over on each side. We're good to go.
Cheers!
Cheers,
everyone.